How long does it actually take to change your body? That's the question that I get asked more than almost anything else. And the honest answer is longer than the fitness industry tells you, but shorter than you think if you're doing the right things. This week, I want to set realistic expectations about what actually changes in 6 weeks and what changes in 12 and what it takes to build something that will last. Because the number one reason people quit is not effort, it's not motivation, it's unrealistic expectations set by an industry that sells 7-day transformations. The fitness industry has a timeline problem, 7-day challenges, 21-day transformations, 30-day shred, 6-week body overhauls. These products exist because they sell. People want results fast, and marketers know that a shorter timeline gets more clicks, more sign-ups, and more money. The problem is what happens on day 22, or week 3, or month 2, when the results don't match the promise. People assume that they've failed. They assume their body doesn't respond. They assume that the program didn't work, but it probably was working. They just didn't stay long enough to see it. I see this constantly. Someone trains hard for 3 weeks. They don't see dramatic change, so they switch to something else. They then do that 3 times a year for 5 years. That's 60 weeks of training with zero compound effect because the longest streak was only 3 weeks. The timeline wasn't wrong. Their expectations were. So let's set some realistic expectations. What actually happens in 6 weeks with structured training and proper nutrition? First, your body composition starts to shift. For a lot of adults, body fat can start moving in a measurable way within 6 weeks, depending on the starting point, consistently, and how much structure is in place. Second, waist measurement can come down. Usually that is where people will notice it first. Not always in the mirror, but in your clothes. Third, energy improves noticeably. Better sleep, more consistent energy throughout the day with less afternoon crashes. This usually kicks in around week 3 or 4. Fourthly, your training performance improves. You're lifting more, moving better, recovering faster between sessions. The warm-ups make a major difference. The structure makes a big difference. Fifthly, and this is the one nobody talks about, you start to feel like your training is doing something for you. After months or years of spinning your wheels, you finally feel forward momentum for the first time. That's the most important change in 6 weeks, not the numbers, the feeling that it's working. The scales might barely move. We've covered that extensively in previous episodes. Body recomposition means the weight can stay similar while the composition underneath it changes. 6 weeks isn't enough time to finish a transformation, but it is enough to prove the system works on your body, and that proof is what keeps you going for week 7 through to 12. We're running a 6-week fat loss challenge in the gym right now. By the time this episode is released, we're in the middle of week 2. Everyone has been scanned. Everyone has targets, and the data is already starting to move, even when the scales aren't. If 6 weeks is proof of concept, 12 weeks is where the real transformation happens. By week 12, the changes are visible. Your body composition has measurably shifted. Your clothes fit differently. People who haven't seen you in a while comment on it. Your strength levels are up. Your body confidence is back. But the 12-week result doesn't happen in week 12. It's built in weeks 1 through to 11. Every structured session, every protein target hit, every recovery day respected, every warm-up done properly. Week 12 is just where the compound effect becomes visible. This is exactly what the 12-week strength rebuild is designed for. It's not a 12-week plan handed to you on day 1. It's a structured coaching process that adapts week by week based on how your body responds. 2 phases, progressive overload, nutrition dialed in around your actual life. The people who get the best 12-week results are the ones who trusted the process in week 2 when nothing visibly had changed. After 12 weeks, most people have a visible result, but the real question is, does it last? This is where the 6-month mark matters. By 6 months, the habits are locked in. Training is not something you're forcing yourself to do. It's part of your identity again. Nutrition is not a diet. It's just how you eat. Recovery is not laziness. It's a training variable. The result sticks because the behavior has changed, not just for 12 weeks, but for long term. This is the difference between a temporary transformation and a lasting one. A lot of people get a great 12-week result and then slide back again because they never built the habits underneath it. The structure was external, a program they followed. It was never internalized as part of who they are. At 6 months, the body has stabilized at a new baseline. You're not maintaining a result, you're living at a new standard, and that's the real goal. Not a 12-week before and after, a permanent upgrade. The number one reason people quit isn't effort, it's timeline mismatch. They expect week 12 results in week 2. They chase the mirror instead of the data. They compare themselves to fitness influencers who have been training for 15 years and assume that they should look like the same after only 3 weeks. And when reality doesn't match the expectation, they don't question the expectation, they question themselves. Maybe my body just doesn't respond, when in fact it does, it absolutely does. But it responds on its own timeline, not the one that the fitness industry has sold you. The average former athlete I work with has restarted training 3 to 5 times within the last 2 years. Different programs, different diets, different gyms, the same cycle. The fix isn't always a better program. It's staying inside a good one long enough for the compound effect to show up. So if you've been starting and stopping for the last 2 years, the problem might not be the program, it might be the expectations. 6 weeks, proof it's working. 12 weeks, visible transformation. 6 months, permanent change. That's the real timeline. Nobody sells it because it's not sexy, but it's honest and it works. So if you're ready to commit to a structured 12-week block, DM me the word rebuild on Instagram. I'll send you the application. And if you're local to Carnford and want to jump into the 6-week fat loss challenge, DM me challenge. If we still have a space to add you in, I'll send you the details. And if you're local to Carnford and want details on regular small group coaching, DM me info. Chat to you next week.